Okay, now before we do the introductions, I'm just going to state that I do not know why, for the life of me, when Australian casters do introductions, they like to introduce players similar to the Korean GSL shoutcasters. So I'm going to do it the Aussie way. So let's start off with the red Terran in the top right-hand corner. We have the Gossip, mate. He's going to fuck shit up. And down at the bottom left-hand corner, we have QED Fridge, mate. Cook a couple of snags on the barbie. Oh, no. Sorry, metrosexuals don't cook barbies. I'm not too sure. I'm not too confident about our friend QED Fridge here. Sorry. Purely because of the fact that he's not a real Australian if he plays Protoss.
Yeah, so we're going to be seeing our first kind of higher level game of the night, just in terms of ladder ranking. We've got Vigosiv, or Vigo, who is a Platinum Terran. And then we've got QED's Fridge, who is currently a Diamond Protoss, but at the time of starting the tournament, he was in Platinum, so that's why he's able to play, for anyone who is wondering about that. So we're going to have to see kind of what strategies get pulled out here, and you're probably going to see a bit more crisper builds and whatnot in terms of in relation to the previous games. And something that not many people would know is Fridge has recently been getting a bit of coaching online. I think the latest one he had was, let me think, I think on Saturday he had a session with Future SC or something like that, some guy from America. And so we're going to have to see if that coaching pays off for Fridge this week.
Yeah, from what I believe from just seeing Fridge play lately, he has actually improved leaps and bounds in the past few weeks from the coaching. I was a bit shocked, actually, because to be quite honest with you, in my opinion, I don't think that, unless if you're basically GM, I don't think you need coaching. But obviously in Fridge's case, I've improved wrong big time, because he has improved leaps and bounds over the past couple of weeks, and it's quite amazing. Now, in saying that, I have done a bit of a criminal history check on both players here, and Fridge is known to put Terrans back in their place and let them know where they belong. However, my background check on Vigo here says that he kicks ass. I mean, look at his last game in the TVT. He really made use of those Banshees, and he said, hey, you're going to fuck with me, I'll just throw a couple of Banshees in your base and just fuck you up with that, and throw a timing in and just finish things off. So I'm not too certain what's going to happen in this match either. It's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. With that push in the last game, that was just really well executed as well. I mean, we're going to be seeing Warpgate come down for Fridge now as well, so maybe we might be seeing some kind of Stalker rush, although it looks like it's just the one gate at the moment. He hasn't thrown down too many, so it looks like it's going to be a one gate expansion build. So both players going for relatively economic focused builds. So it looks like this game's going to be stretching out into the middle stages, hopefully. So that'll be the first one that we've had like that so far. So I think the longest one we've had was the first game where both players were on 2 base, and then Goss broke out of that contain, and then Dune dropped him.
Now, I thought I'd like to point out here with Vigo, he is going for the old style 1 rack set figure, where he chucked down his 2 refineries after his 3 racks at the same time. The new style, the new school 1 racks fast expand is the bomber style, where you pretty much throw your barracks and refineries down as you get the money, and you do not get that second refinery until your tech lab completes. However, he has gone for the old school 1 racks fast expand, getting the second bunker to help him with all ins, which is nice to see. And he is taking map control with his Marines, which is also great. Seeing the Zealot and the Stalker there.
Now, unfortunately, that Marine didn't have a great quality of life towards the end there. Unfortunately, got caught between a rock and a hard place in the Zealot and that Stalker. And yeah, we're going to have to see what kind of builds come out of each player's. Nice kind of wall off here with the bunkers for Vigo. It's going to stop any super early aggression, but the first observer coming out now for Fridge as well.
I'm actually quite interested in this top of 1 max FE. What I have found that's different here is Vigo has taken his concussive shell before his combat or stim. Usually with this build you will take your stim first to line up with the timing, but he's decided to go for that concussive, but he is throwing that second tech lab down on his next racks. Whereas the Fridge here seems all fairly standard yet. He's gone for the Robo the Robo Tech, getting out a Warp Prism. And whereas, to be honest, that Warp Prism is going to be a pain in the ass. I mean, Terrans love dropping, but they hate being dropped, especially by a Protoss who has a Warp Prism.
Most definitely, yeah. And we'll have to see if Fridge goes for that sentry kind of force field block on the ramp as well, just to add a bit of insult to injury. Although with the production facilities for Vigo being kind of nicely clustered in the middle of his base, I don't think that's going to be much of an issue. And Vigo actually spotting that observer, so that's going to need to get out of the way, or else that missile turret... Oh, and there we go. So nice placement there of that missile turret, just wards that observer off, and it looks like the missile turret on the low ground grabbed it, so that's a really nice play there by Vigo.
Now, what I'd love to see here with this factory is for Vigo to make use of it, which he is doing, which I'm assuming that he's going to be using for a scout and to block QED Fridge's third. Just a few other ways you can use it. You can obviously put it down at the ramp that leads up to your natural to aggro some Protoss fire from the Stalkers when in engagement defending. And you can also use it just for a simple scout on the Zolnega Tower to see what's up. It's just another way to use map control with which we seem to be seeing Vigo make use of. We do have this Warp Prism at the 12 o'clock position here, right next to Vigo's base, ready to warp in and, well, literally be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Which is a very good tactic, should I say, from any Protoss. If you're a Protoss, use Warp Prisms. I mean, it lets you get your army out into the map. Every Terran will try to drop you when they see your army out in the map. Whereas this Warp Prism here will allow Fridge to be a little bit more aggressive than he normally could be with his army, taking a bit of, a little bit of map control.
Yeah, and as those the the last 3 of those 6 gates finish up now, and that observer being really nicely placed there for Fridge. With those 6 gates now being able to warp in, he's going to be able to kind of use this Warp Prism to its maximum potential. And something that I've seen from Fridge in his previous games has been his favoured kind of use of Storms as the first warp in of Zealots comes in now to the main. And we're going to have to see if Vigo decides to run home here, or if he's going to kind of go balls to the wall. And I think Fridge has actually got enough force fields here to kind of hold him at bay for a long enough period of time.
Now this timing is slightly off, unfortunately, by Vigo. I mean, you want to be pushing out at around about the 9-minute 50, or around about the 9-minute 50, 10-minute mark. So he is, could you say, a minute, just over a minute late on this timing. And as we can see here, these Zealots in Vigo's main is just romper stomping his base, and as I said before, just being a pain in the ass. As you can see, Vigo's army is literally almost scattered across the map.
Yeah, no, it was quite a nice decision to do that as well. And the position of that observer just let him know when it was safe to kind of send in that Warp Prism to try and pull the forces back like it ended up doing. And as the armory comes down now for Vigo, he's going to be looking to kind of tech up and maybe transition into maybe some more kind of mech-based play, maybe some tanks or something like that. A nice scan there does reveal that the second base is pretty much fully saturated, but he's going to need to be really careful with those Archons now in the mix for Fridge as well.
Now I see here Vigo has gone for a 50-50 ratio of Marines to Marauders. That's a very healthy ratio to have. However, against this composition, I believe it's definitely better to go more Marine heavy. But in saying that, it's much more difficult to micro a more marine heavy army, especially when there's a chance that your Protoss opponent may have storms. But if you can dodge those storms, it's leaps and bounds better. Having a more marine heavy army over Marauders. However, if your micro isn't that crash hot, yeah, it is better to go Marauders because you can take those extra storms without dying. Now we do have an engagement here at at Fridge's National Ramp. Unfortunately, Vigo has half of his army caught up the ramp with the force fields. Very good force fields by Fridge. Unfortunately, with Vigo, he does have some of his army loaded up in the medivacs, which is very dangerous, considering he knows that Fridge does have a healthy Stalker count. Now he may see this third going down by Fridge to tell him that he needs to get a move on to take his third also. You never want to be behind taking that third against a Protoss.
Yeah, and it looks like Vigo's going to try and split up Fridge's attention here. He does spot that the third has gone down, but looks like he's going to try and drop straight into the gates. This is probably going to give Fridge enough time to maybe walk in or pull back some attention to this, but looks like these Marines are actually going to do quite a significant amount of damage as Fridge decides to head on home and try and save as many tech structures as he can. Vigo stimming these units quite heavily, so they're going to fall quite quickly, it looks like, actually.
This is a very effective drop by Vigo, might I add. Has disrupted Fridge's play by pulling that amount of probes off his main. However, Fridge does have that third down, whereas Vigo does not yet. And as we can see, there's no indication that Vigo's interested in taking his third as of yet.
Yeah, as Fridge transfers his probes over now to his third base, he's going to be in quite a good position here. And if you look at the supply, like Fridge is now pulled ahead in both army and worker supply, and with the choke these Archons, he's going to be able to splash that damage down. And Vigo's going to need to be careful. Nice storm with the medevacs. He's going to need to make sure they get out of there. Preemptively stimming the units, but there's not going to be any medevacs left to heal them up now. And,
this is very well done by Fridge here. This is very well played. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if that's we're forcing stims, so yeah, it's not too bad. Normally, if the Terran has full HP, it's probably not the best place to be engaging on that ramp with the small choke as a Protoss. However, as we can see, Fridge is on 157 supply, and our friend Vigo here is on 105, so I don't think it really matters too much.
Yeah, nice placement of the observers, actually. The pylon to block the third's just been found. And I think Vigo's going to get quite a surprise when he runs into all these... but he's unprepared for all those storms to splash down that damage. And Vigo already up to 3-3, as is Fridge, so the upgrades have been fairly even in this game so far, but it looks like Fridge has had enough of sitting around and waiting as he adds on more gateways, and he's going to start heading out now as well. So this is going to be quite a good engagement for Fridge if he can split the army like this and kind of get that nice long egg with the Zealots.
Interesting, this is very much gateway heavy. He only has one High Templar in the fray with another one rallying into the action.
Yeah, so nice job there by Fridge picking off those medevacs that were left unattended, and the third about halfway done now for Vigo as well. So Fridge is going to try and maybe set up a contain, maybe even try and push in and win as his first set of Colossus, or his first Colossus is on its way now. Kind of walking up that ramp, and it looks like he might even be able to cascade over the top of Vigo here. Nice storm.
Very, very beautiful storm, beautiful. And I think this is the end of the road here for our friend Vigo.
Yeah, there's the GG. So it looks like Vigo's going to have to tap out here with the mana storms coming down on the SCBs, and Fridge shows that that coaching has definitely paid off for him. Bringing QED. Oh, I forgot to... Oh, no, hang on. No, I didn't. Alright, so, whilst we're here, please work for the love of God. Fuck it. Ah, damn it. Alright. I'll get there one day. Alright, so in the left-hand position of the map, we have the red Protoss for IXL, their last player for tonight, IXLCircuit. And then in the right-hand position, we've got the blue, lovely metrosexual, that makes me sound a bit gay. We've got the blue metrosexual Protoss. For QED, we've got QED's Fridge in the upper right-hand position. And it's nice to see that kind of banter come out between the two players. So we've got our first, we've got our first PvP of the night, everyone. So get excited. We're probably going to be seeing, I don't know, let's see, what have we seen in pro games recently? Pretty much like 4-gate, 3-gate Robo, and then like 3-gate Stalker Rush, or even like a Blink build. Blink not so much in PvP. Blink builds anyway. So as we were saying in the last game, Fridge currently in Diamond League, was in Platinum at the start, but after undergoing some serious training with some internet gurus, he's been able to make his way up into the Diamond League. And I'm not actually sure too much about Circuit. If someone in the chat would like to throw down a small bio of Circuit, like, I think he'd be Platinum maybe. Let me think. Platinum sounds right. So I think he's Platinum. We definitely know he's Protoss, and from what I've read so far, he can play the game. So everyone, we should be having a fairly good game coming up here as well. As the scout for Circuit finds Fridge's base, and it looks like both players either know that the map was cross positions, or that they both got extremely lucky, and this probe darting its way through the mineral field of Fridge, just getting a bit of information, and it looks like he might want to hang around a bit longer just to see what kind of information he can gather. No rally point art coming out yet. Ooh, and Fridge nearly gets that small little poke. Bang, there goes the first one. As he throws down his gateway, so it looks like Fridge's tactic there was to kind of push him out of his base and say, hey, you get out of here, I'm going to do some sneaky business. I tend to do that a lot as Zerg. I say if someone like comes into my base with their scouting drone, I'll like throw down 2 gas just to freak them out, so when they leave I just double extract to cancel that shit. And we're going to have to see what Circuit can do here. Unfortunately, his Zealot getting a bit of a run around here from Fridge's probe. I'm sure many people do get annoyed at this strategy, and looks like we're on fairly even timings here. Still only 1 gate down for Circuit. The second one is just finishing up now for Fridge, and this probe gonna probably come back for a poke, but the first Stalker is already out. Oh, and the second and third are on the way, and bang, sorry probe, you're probably not going to get much more information. I have to quickly select something of his. Oh, he actually saw most of it. I'm not sure if he actually got the click off in time. The third gate goes down now for Fridge. And how many gates have we got? So we've got 1 gate Robo, 2 gate Robo. Unfortunately, as a Zerg player, I'm not too across the board with all Protoss strategies. I know how to cannon rush and go mass charge lots very early on, but I'm working on that, guys. And looks like we're going to have a fairly healthy composition of units as the third gateway gets added here for Circuit as well. So it is going to be a 3-gate Robo build, and the expansion comes down for Fridge as well as his warp gate finishes up, and his third gate is just about to finish as well. So I think this is look at that, guys, 3-gate Robo. It's the way to go on PvP. It looks like Fridge actually wants to put on a bit of early aggression. Now he's going to need to be very careful about the sentries. I'm not sure that Guardian Shield needed to go up quite as early as it did. I think Fridge is going to be able to do some nice positioning micro here, and he might be able to pick off this Zealot. Oh, and he's got to be careful he doesn't lose the sentries. And he baits the force field as well. So I think Fridge got what he needed to do there. He did a lot of hull damage, and he also wasted all the energy. Welcome back.
Hey, hey!
So, not much has happened at the moment. They're both going pretty identical builds. The only difference is that the robotics bay is finishing up the circuit now as well, so it looks like we're going to be having some one-base Colossus-y. No, ignore what I said. We're going to be having some speed Warp Prism play come out as the first observer Fridge comes out. So, if the gods are with Fridge, if the Norse gods bless him passage to Valhalla, hopefully this observer will path its way through whichever way this Warp Prism is going to go. For Fridge's sake anyway, but Circuit I'm sure is hoping on the exact opposite, as his second Immortal is about halfway complete. And as I was saying, it's going to be a fairly healthy unit composition for Circuit here.
So I take it here that Circuit here will be relying on his Warp Prism to harass and disrupt Fridge's play, so we can take his expansion, get a little bit further ahead with it, and try and go from there. Now, I'm not too sure how this will go. I think it all depends on if Fridge decides to move out with his army, or if he decides to go for more passive play style. Whereas I don't think this Warp Prism will be too much of a or cause too much of a distraction.
Yeah, now Fridge is going to see that Colossus Den, although I probably should learn the name of it. So it is the Robotics Bay, but it looks like he's going to cruise straight past this Warp Prism and where it is. He's going to kind of slink in behind where it should have been. And oh, is he going to catch the vital pickup of the... No, he's not. He's going to miss the double Immortal drop that we're going to be having come down. Pretty good play from what I've heard, or what I read on StarCraft Reddit. I heard quite a few people throw the word bullshit around when they were discussing it, and Fridge is going to need to be on top of his game here. He's got an Immortal of his own popping out in the base, and that Pile's going to see what's going on, so he needs to pull probes. Go, 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 probes, run. Alright, so he's got the first lot of probes out of the way, and we're going to see some sick micro coming out here, I'd assume. And he's just going to pick them up all day, and he's just going to... Oh nice, that's pretty sick play. But he needs to make sure he picks up the he needs to make sure he picks up the Immortals. He can't just leave them on that cliff. So really nice job there. I don't think he killed too many workers. He's up to 5, so probably take off 1 for scouting. So it killed 4, disrupted his Fridge's mining, but unfortunately, looks like he's going to poke in again. Unfortunately for Circuit, Fridge has had his expansion up quite a hell of a lot longer. And even though the army supply is ahead for Circuit, Fridge is going to have the better economy coming out of this, as he's able to throw down those extra couple of gates, and the Stalker might even be able to catch this, maybe.
Now this is very even in army size here. I mean, we have 10 Zealots each for both Fridge and Circuit. We have 1 Immortal for Fridge, whereas Circuit has 2. It's a small advantage there. We now have a Colossus that is popped for Circuit, and the Stalker count is even at 4, and it looks like Circuit has that extra sentry. I'm not sure what the energy is on the sentries. How are we going with the sentry energy? Pretty much well full.
Yeah, definitely.
For Circuit, and for Fridge, I'd assume he has full energy as well. Yes. However, Fridge has taken a bit of hull damage on one of his sentries, being only more or less shields there. So I'm not too sure if that sentry will actually last that long.
Yeah, I really like this kind of cliff play from Circuit, just really harassing the crap out of Fridge with his first Colossus, now trying to split up the army. The whole divided we fall kind of stance here from Fridge. His warp cooldown time is nearing its end, and...
This is a very scary push.
Yeah, the force field's pretty good, so he's just going to need to bait out as much as he can here. I'm not sure quite who's ahead here. I mean, these Immortals are probably going to need to be really well micro, but it looks like Fridge might have this with the reinforcement warp-ins, maybe.
He needs to target that Colossus.
Yeah, definitely. And there's so many force fields, I'm not quite sure, but it looks like Fridge is going to be able to break this. We do have 2 Zealots that are about to get contact with the Colossus here, and it looks like he's deflected this push. was fairly nice there. It did give Circuit enough time to get his expansion out, so it's good that is finally up, because Fridge is starting to take quite a commanding lead in terms of economy as Fridge rebuilds his Twilight Council, and he did cancel that Robotics Bay. So this Warp Prism now is just going to be used for pure harass only. After the job was done, it looks like Fridge actually wants to push out here and dish a bit of damage out. I think he realises that with those Colossus in the mix and how many there were, that Circuit has cut quite a lot of things in terms of economy, and he's going to really need to be careful here, because this Warp Prism's probably going to get caught out of position.
Oh. Yep. So now Circuit knows that his army's out in the field, and it looks like he wants to make use of this Warp Prism. Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately for Circuit, when Fridge did realise that that Warp Prism was in there, he warped in a couple of Stalkers in his main base. So I think he's going to be able to just kind of kite these Zealots back that are getting dropped in the mineral line now. And it looks like he's going to try and focus fire the Warp Prism, which is a really good decision, but I don't think he's just going to get it in time. Ooh, a little bit of
very well done by Fridge handling that. Very well done.
Yeah, and equally as well done by Circuit, making sure that that Warp Prism got out alive. That was really vital to his plan, as Fridge's third is probably about 6/8, maybe 3/4 of the way. Oh, that is 6/8, it's 3/4 of the way done. Looks like the Warp Prism is going to miss the proxy pylon, maybe. No, it just gets it by 1 hex. And some High Templar entering the fray just to make the ultimate unit in that Archon. And Fridge's push is really starting to look scary here. I mean, if you look at the army and worker supply, he's now taken a lead in both. So, yeah, the tables have kind of turned here as that third base finishes up for Fridge as well.
However, we do have four Colossus out for Circuit, which I think if he can get the spread out, it's going to do a lot of damage, seeing as Fridge only has gateway units and... okay, now he's getting the Archons. So 3 Archons, 2 Immortals, then the rest being Stalkers and Zealots with a couple of Sentries mixed in. Now, for all those Protoss players out there, I'm not too sure how this will fare.
Yeah, from what I've seen, the amount of force fields that Circuit has available will be good to him until Fridge walks his Colossus straight over them and negates any kind of advantage he'd get from that. And with these Archons, if he can get a nice bunch up of the Zealots as they try to walk in and focus fire down the Colossus, I think he's going to be more than fine to handle this. The third base pretty much fully saturated as Fridge is quite... Oh no, but Fridge needs to be careful about this. This is not a good idea. I'm not engaging what he is doing now, but as I was saying, the Immortal's absolutely killing all of those Zealots there, and this looks like it's going to be an even trade, actually. Maybe. Pretty good force field.
This is very good positioning with Circuit's Colossi here. Very, very well done on his positioning. Yeah. And probably not the best engagement for Fridge there, trying to get up into that third high ground. He does have his third going, pretty much well saturated. A few more pros which will be fully saturated. So I think he's making the right decision here, just to pull his army back and
sure things up
make use of that advantage of having the third, whereas Circuit does not.
Yeah, definitely. And it's something important to notice is that one of Circuit's Colossus is like super duper low health as he throws down his third now. So that's going to need to kind of hug the back of all the other Colossus to try and let them take all the damage as the Templar Archives just finishes up for Circuit as well. And we have a look at the units tab, or maybe even the army supply, that might be a bit more helpful to us. So tight on army supply, but yeah, quite a considerable amount more workers for Fridge. So he's just going to be able to get to that maxed out point that much faster, and he might even look to take the middle base in the middle of the map and just kind of set up a kind of a choke line from there and just push Circuit back to not being able to do anything because he's pretty much mined out or doesn't have anything. Oh, well, something I just noticed as well. Circuit does not have a upgrade at all. Charge, Charge and Extended Thermal Lance, they're upgrades, but he doesn't have any unit-based upgrades, where Fridge is currently sitting at 2-3, and he will be sitting at 2-1-3 very shortly, actually, so...
His Colossi count is very scary, though, I might add. The only problem I see with this is that he does not have the gateway units to support them. He's got a lot of AoE, however, he just does not have those gateway units to support.
Yeah, so he could be in quite a lot of trouble here. Now, does Fridge have charge? No, he doesn't have charge yet. That's something that I'd be looking into getting, actually, if I was Fridge and I knew how to play Protoss. Just because the Zealots are going to be... you can just kite them fairly easily with Colossus, just to maximise the amount of damage that will be done.
And we have High Templar warps. Oh, there we go. No, Archon warp ins at the 12 o'clock position, meeting up with the rest of the army. Now, there is an indication that Circuit is going for Fridge's third. Fridge does know about it. He has scouted it, and it looks like he's about to corner Circuit in a bad spot here.
Yeah, and Circuit's Colossus at the Colossi at the back, I should say, they're in really, really pretty bad position. And as the Zealots come in now, just to tickle the Colossus' feet, I think this is going to...
Those Zealots are just carving shit up, like...
Yeah, unfortunately, Circuit threw away their Colossal lead. Oh, we didn't throw it away, actually, I shouldn't say that, because that makes it sound really harsh. I don't think Circuit did anything wrong there, per se. Fridge really read that well, and yeah, took advantage of it and split up Circuit's focus and just kind of cornered him into a corner, you could say, and yeah, just kind of overran that position there and just flooded in his units, and now he's going to do some serious economic damage.
Now, Circuit does have his War Prison here, still up and alive. Now, I'm quite impressed that he's kept it alive for this long. Now, 23 minutes into the game, that is one soldier there, just hovering. It looks like Fridge is going for the win here, the kill move, with a high Colossi count of 4 Colossi, 3 Archons, and 2 Immortals, the rest being Gateway. And I don't think there's too much else interesting here to see, really, other than Fridge taking out the game.
Yeah, no, I don't think Circuit's going to be able to reprise himself here. Fridge now has the Colossus lead, there's the GG, so it looks like QED is going to be able to take this clan war 5-1, guys. Great games tonight. Really nice play coming out here from Circuit and all the other guys. Who did we have? We had Circuit, we had Vigo, we had